Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for coming to our webinar tonight. We're going to give it a few minutes for everyone to get in from the waiting room. So hang tight. All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much again, everyone, for attending tonight's webinar. My name is Sarah Kells, and I'm one of the admissions representatives for Kansas State University Online. Sorry, slides keep moving on me. We're joined tonight by Dr. Scott Deloach and Dr. Graham Leach-Krause from our computer science departments. They're going to be sharing some information on some of our undergraduate and graduate programs, and we'll be answering some questions as we go. So we're going to be doing about 30 to 45 minutes on the presentation, give or take that, and then the last few minutes for questions. If you could right now, just find the chat feature and tell us where you're from and what program you might be interested in, whether it's our integrated computer science bachelor degree, our computer science master's, or maybe our certificate program. And while those are coming into our chat, I will go ahead and have you also find the Q&A feature. As we go through the presentation, feel free to type in any questions. We might answer those through the Q&A by typing them, or we might save those to be answered live. We also are recording this, so just let us know, just let you know anyway, that you should get a copy of this recording in about 7 business days. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our presenters.
All righty. Hello, everybody. My name is Scott Deloach. I am the department head of the Department of Computer Science within the College of Engineering here at Kansas State University. And we're going to talk to you about our 3 options that we have for online computer science here. The first one being a computer science certificate, which is short 17 credits. Then we have a full integrated computer science degree that is actually run out of the College of Arts and Sciences. And then I'll talk a little bit at the end about our master's in computer science, which is also fully online as well. Next. Okay, there we go. The first thing we want to look at is our certificate in computer science. And this actually builds into our ICS program that Graham is going to talk about in a minute. And basically, the certificate program is a set of 5 courses, 17 credits that really provide you a very deep introduction to programming and basic computer science concepts. These courses you see here, we have an introduction to computing. We have our fundamental computer programming concepts course. That's where you really learn how to program. Then we have a couple of different courses covering data structures and algorithms. And then finally, our advanced programming course, where you kind of put everything together and learn how to build large, fairly complex programs. But these all mirror what we teach in our on-campus courses. They're not exactly the same courses because these are obviously made to go online and have a few differences. But the idea is that we teach you really solid fundamentals, and that's really what the certificate is about. If you just have a degree, or if you just want to grab some solid programming fundamentals to get started, this is really a good way to go. And I think if you hit click the button there, there's a pop-up here on the page. Just hit click or hit next or whatever. Okay, there we go. And a couple of things. One of the differences between our on-campus computer science program out of the College of Engineering is that the computer science certificate and the integrated computer science program are algebra based as opposed to calculus based. So what that means is a little lower bar to entry. We focus a little bit more on programming, a little bit less on theory. Everything is done online though. Even if you were taking these exact same courses on campus, you would still be taking them in our immersive learning environment, which is all online. So you're going to be, everything is done the same way, whether you're on campus or online. So you don't have to worry about setting up your computer. All that's done for you. You're basically doing your computation in the cloud, your textbook, your videos, all that is provided through one pretty seamless interface for you. Okay, go ahead and go next.
Okay, and I guess that's my cue. Integrated computer science is a full bachelor's degree. You can do it either as a Bachelor of Science, a BS, or a Bachelor of Arts, a BA. I'll get into the difference between those in a second. But to kind of like build on what Scott was saying, integrated computer science starts from those programming fundamentals that you get in the computer science certificate. So we have 17 credits of required computer science classes. Those are the same ones that you take in the computer science certificate. And that means that the two degrees are kind of stackable. So you could start with the computer science certificate, and if you really get going on that and you feel like, yeah, this is what I want to do, then you can go on to use those credits towards an integrated computer science BA. And if you go the other way, if you start the integrated computer science BA and you decide maybe not for me, then you can kind of fall back and still get the certificate so that you have something to kind of show at the end of the day. Okay, so in addition to those required computer science classes that make up the computational course certificate, the BA also includes 12 more credit hours of computer science electives that kind of add some domain-specific knowledge to the programming fundamentals that you get with the certificate. So I'll talk about that in a second. And then on top of that, there are two kind of things that are distinctive and unusual about the way that we do integrated computer science. So the first of these is that you combine all of that programming knowledge with a number of what we call integration electives. So integration electives are classes that you take in the College of Arts and Sciences in a couple of different areas. So you learn about the way that computers are used in the arts and humanities. So you learn a little bit, you can take classes in things like kind of graphic design for the web or making electronic music, but you learn about the ways that computers are used to create art. You learn about the cultural impacts of technology, and you can kind of fill that requirement by learning about the history of technology or learning about the sort of social impact of technology, or learning about things like the way that, I don't know, to pick an example, big data has implications for law and justice. And then finally, you learn a little bit about moral reasoning and professional ethics. So you do this by taking some ethics classes, usually in the philosophy department, that kind of help you think a little bit about how you're not just going to be a computer professional, but an ethical computer professional. So we take the programming classes, we combine them with the integration electives, and we go a little further than that, because we also include in the major a concentration, which is 18 credit hours, making up like a certificate or a minor or a major in some other field. So your integrated computer science major is not just giving you a solid programming background, but it's combining that, it's integrating it with some other field of study. So for example, you might get a degree in graphic design, and then you combine that with programming skills, and you have a really kind of powerful mix of things that you can use to do things like web design or video game development. Or you get a certificate from the College of Business to discharge your concentration. And then you have the sort of like basic foundations of running a business, sort of entrepreneurship, and also the programming skills to do your own prototyping and kind of enter into some kind of technology field. Okay. So that's the role of the concentration. So could we move on to the next slide? Okay, great. Okay, so so this is just sort of spelling out the computer science requirements, the programming classes. So the required classes are the same ones that you saw on the computational core certificate a minute ago. But in addition to those, we've got the electives. So you'd be taking 12 credits in these electives. And you can see that they're kind of a little bit more applied, a little bit more hands-on. So things like computer systems administration, running the computer systems for a large organization, full stack web development. So running a web servers, designing web pages, creating web applications, database essentials. So working with databases, applied data science. So that's big data kind of stuff. And then special topics in applied computer science, which can be a lot of different things depending on the instructor and what you want to do with them. And all of these are offered online. Okay, I think next slide. Okay, so because the integrated computer science degree is a bachelor's degree, it's in the College of Arts and Sciences, there are also some sort of gen ed requirements. So you'll take classes in communication, in the social sciences, in the humanities, and in the natural sciences. And there's a multicultural overlay component to the arts and sciences degree. And the point of all of this is to give you a sort of really broad background and these sort of general all-purpose skills in addition to your programming background. Because, you know, a big part of having a job is communicating well with other people. And some of those communications classes and writing classes help you learn how to do that. So if you're doing a BS, a Bachelor of Science, then in addition to those sort of gen eds, you take a natural science class and a few different quantitative classes and an international studies overlay. And if you are doing a Bachelor of Arts, then you will study a foreign language and you'll take a little bit less quantitative stuff. So the foreign language requirement is not possible to complete online at the moment. So if you want to do the degree purely online, then you're going to want to go with the BS. But integrated computer science is also offered as an on-campus major. So those BA classes, the foreign language classes, can be taken on campus. Okay. I think next slide. Okay, I think this is back to Scott.
Yep, this is the master's degree in computer science. And so the master's degree in computer science is basically your traditional computer science degree. And for a lot of you, if you're looking around at master's degrees in computer science online, you'll notice that there are a lot of masters out there for online consumption. Most of those master's degree consist of really special courses specifically designed for the online community. And they're not always really equivalent to what you would get in an on-campus setting. We've gone different. We basically took our on-campus courses and given them an on-campus or an online component. So when you take our master's degree in computer science online, you're getting the exact same classes that you would get if you were sitting on campus. In fact, a lot of times you'll be working with the same on-campus students in projects and those kind of things, because you're actually taking the course at the same time. You're getting all the same material. Just as a different mode of delivery. And so our master's is actually very flexible. You basically have 30 credits of graduate courses you have to take. You can transfer up to 10 of those. So if you'd been working somewhere else on a master's degree and wanted to transfer in, you can transfer up to 10 credits there. And the way we set it up, there are no required courses per se. We have in our coursework, there's one course required from each of the areas you see listed here, like implementation. That can either be our compiler class or operating system class, or we have a special projects class. Programming languages, you have to take one of those kind of classes. There's a systems requirement, an application requirement, theory, and specialization. And a specialization is just a PhD level class. So one advanced course that you're taking is your specialization. But if you look at those, those are only 6 classes, and that gives you several other classes that you can really use to specialize your degree. So it's a very flexible system, and I don't know where our slides went.
It seems like there might have been some posts.
Let me share my screen again.
Okay. So, like I said, it's very flexible in terms of, you kind of pick and choose which courses you're most interested in the specific areas, but then you have additional courses you get to kind of specialize your focus in. Now, there are 3 different options you can take down at the bottom there. There are 3 program options. You can either do a thesis, which is a research-based project that you do usually in the last year or so of your master's degree. That is 6-year credits if you go that way. Or if you want to do a report is less pure research. It wouldn't necessarily result in some kind of archival publication. But it might be something that you're interested in, that you would do some in-depth study on a particular area, again, a specialty area that you might be interested in, and you do a report you write a report and give a little oral presentation at the end. And then there's also a non-thesis, non-report option, where basically you take an extra class and you give a kind of a final report at the end. So. Next. Okay, and so as far as application, the nice thing about K-State Online, if you go to K-State Online, and this how to apply button, I think, is pretty much always there up at the top of the page, and you click there and you're going to come to a page like this, and down at the bottom here you see if you're a freshman applying, say, for the ICS program, if you're a graduate student here or a transfer student, there's several different categories you can click on to find. But basically, for graduate admissions, we're looking for, you have to have a bachelor's degree, obviously. If it's from an ABET accredited CS program, then you're good as far as applying for our master's in computer science. If it's not an ABET accredited computer science program, then you will need to take the GRE exam. We do allow other closely related bachelor's degrees. So maybe you have computer engineering, electrical engineering, something like that. You have a lot of experience in programming and have some computer science, kind of some formal background there, maybe without a specific bachelor's degree in computer science. We can always look at those and determine how you fit in. There is a requirement that you have a 3.0 GPA in the last 60 credits. To actually apply, there is a $65 fee if you're a domestic student, $75 international. And for domestic students, a couple of months prior to the start of classes, so if you want to apply for this fall, you need to apply pretty soon. If you want to wait and apply for spring, as long as you get in by October, November, probably you're probably going to be pretty good. International students have very specific dates. They're a little harder, a little more specific in terms of the dates that you have to apply by there. Next slide. Oh, we're at the next slide. Okay. As far as the application requirements for the graduate program in computer science, we ask for a personal statement. That's just basically your background, your experience, why you want a master's degree, those kind of things, just to understand where you are in your maturity in many ways. 3 references, your resume. And then when you actually apply, you only need unofficial transcripts from your previous institutions. Once you get accepted, you will have to get the official transcripts, however, to actually have everything go through completely. If you are not a native English speaker, there is a proof of English required. You have to take one of these tests here, TOEFL, IELTS, and PTE. But all this, again, you go to K-State Online, click how to apply, go to graduate students, and that should walk you right through the process. Okay, Graham.
Oh, yeah. So this would be undergraduate admissions. So this is to get into the certificate program or the ICS program. And so usually we look for a high school GPA of 3.25 or an ACT of 21, SAT scores of 1060 or above, and 2.0 on college classes taken. So transfer students need to have at least 24 credits, minimum GPA of 2 on transfer coursework. And the application deadlines, you can see them there, January 1st for the spring semester, May 1st for the summer semester, and August 1st for the fall semester. And you can find the online application, again, behind that how to apply button. Application fee is $40 for the US, $80 for international students. And you're going to want to request a couple of credentials to be sent to KSU. So that would be your official high school transcripts or GED equivalent, official ACT or SAT scores, and official college transcripts if you're doing a transfer, if you've taken college classes. And these do need to be official transcripts. So personal copies or sort of student issued copies are not something we can accept, unfortunately. Similarly, we have a proof of English proficiency, and our fees are in the range of $400 to $665 per credit hour. So the classes in the College of Arts and Sciences tend to be a little less expensive, and the classes through the College of Engineering have some additional fees. And there are scholarships available through K-State Online. So you can see the link there. And there's also an installment payment plan for your tuition. Okay, so if you're ready to apply, you can do so through K-State Online. I think I'll hand it back to Sarah at this point.
Thank you so much. Sorry about that little glitch there right in the middle. Yeah, I did include some of the links for more information on each of the programs in the chat, as well as the how to apply and our scholarship page. So definitely check those out. As I said at the beginning, we are recording this webinar, so you should get a recording of this along with those links here in the next 7 business days. As a thank you for attending, we are going to offer you application fee waivers for the fall semester. Unfortunately, it would only be for the degrees, so the integrated computer science or the computer science master's, unfortunately not the certificate. But if you have any questions at all, I am going to put the online email. I am happy to answer questions about the programs, the application process, and and also here are our presenters' information as well. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to them as well. But just I'm going to give it a last opportunity for anybody to ask any questions. We didn't have any come in during the presentation, but now that we're at the end, are there any questions from anyone? You can put them in the chat or the Q&A. And while those are coming in, I'm going to go ahead and put the online email address. And I'm also going to include a link For FAFSA, that's always something that students usually ask me about is FAFSA. So I'm going to go ahead and link our financial aid page as well. It's going to have the school's code and also links to our Office of Student Financial Assistance and also the FAFSA application as well. One other thing that I always like to mention as well is for anyone who is military, spouse or active duty, definitely send in your JSTs for evaluation along with your transcripts to see if those will count towards any credits. We always like to have those or any CLEP tests, things like that. I'm not seeing any questions. Anything else you two would like to add for the night?
I just say thank you for attending. You know, you can always reach out to us. If you can't remember any of this information, just search for Kansas State University Computer Science. You can find our webpage there, and there's email addresses there. You can ask any questions, or K-State Online and ask questions there as well. So.
Yeah, always happy to get an email. You know, we do this stuff because we're very excited about it, and so we're just happy to talk if you want to reach out.
Well, thank you so much to Scott and Graham. Thanks so much for the information tonight, and thank you everyone again for attending. I know you busy lives between work and family, so we really appreciate your time. Everyone, I hope you have a great night.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.